Hey folks, we're back. So let us go ahead. At this point, we've got all our telescopes working. Um, I increased this to one full row because we're going to need a bunch of these, so I bumped that up. Everything else is the same pretty much. So let's go ahead and make our way towards science. We got our lasers and stuff sent up. We got all our stuff we needed. We got one of each of the facilities made. These we'll go into in a minute. Towards the end of the video, we're going to do that. But right now, let us look at science. So we got our data being made. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our data and we're going to make it in our. We got our not our data, but our frames being made, and we're going to turn our frames into data. So let's go ahead and start doing all of our datas. So we need astronomics facility, astronomics facility, astronomics facility, astronomics facility. So all 5 of these are astronomics, right? And they just require 2 inputs, 3 outputs, no fluid, and just the facility themselves. So there's our astronomics facility. That's what it looks like. So each of these is going to require an input and an output. So we're going to try something here. We're going to try and put them as best I can diagonal from one another. And the reason I'm going to do that is if I can do this properly. Let's see, one up, one over, right? So they're each going to make, and we'll start with these ones, right? They're each going to make scrap, and they're each going to make a junk card, and they're each going to make the data. So the scrap is going to be common, right? So if we do that, the scrap is going to be common. The junk data card is going to be common. And I said I wasn't going to do this before, and then I did it for the thing. I'm going to do it for filter inserters. I want a long-handed filter inserter. I'm sorry. I think we should have one. So I'm going to do it. So that gives us that and that. So that's going to be, this is going to be our scrap. Where is our scrap? There's our scrap, right? That's going to be our scrap. And then this is junk data cards. So junk data cards, right? That's going to give us each of our junk data cards. Now, that is then going to give us our observation data and infrared observation and visible observation. So those are going to be different, each of those. So we're going to go ahead right, and one of those and one of those. This one's going to be making visible observation data. So visible, and this one is going to be making infrared. So infrared, there we go. Right? So let us do this. Let's take a blueprint of this. Put it in our blueprints, and then we're going to pick all of this up. We're not going to let the bots do it. We're going to pick it up by hand. Because we're going to take this and we're going to stick it up in this corner. And since we're the only ones that have the facilities, it's going to try and it's going to bring everything else but the facilities, and that's okay. So we're going to do here, 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 and here. We're going to let these guys throw everything else in. And then we're going to change these two. We're going to change the formula for these two, which means we're going to change this, and we're going to change this, right? So we've got our visible being made, we've got our infrared being made, visible, infrared, UV, infrared, UV, and microwave. And then we're going to change this to UV and change this to microwave. And then that should, right, be all the same. Now, that's the goes outus. Now on the goes into side, oops, and we should have probably done this part prior as well, but we didn't. We're going to need that for each of those, and we're going to do stack inserters, and those are going to be data cards, right, because we need a data card. And then this is going to be the observation frames. So we're going to do a requester for observation frames for each of these. And let me look at something. How many does it need? It needs 1 and 10. So really, that, even that's probably too much, because it's probably so slow that a yellow would keep up. There we go, right? So that gives us the things we need. And then we tell this that it needs to be blank data cards, right? And this needs to be blank data cards. And then this, we're going to want visible observation frames, which is all the frames we're making. Visibles, oops, visibles. This is going to be infrareds. This is going to be UVs. And this is going to be microwave. Right? So whirly, whirly, whirly. There we go. Now, that gives us the first 4, right? Visible, infrared, UV, microwave. This one's basically the same thing, and then over here is where we get into interesting stuff. This is a different facility. And this is a different facility, and they are going to require the stuff that we're making. So we need to make this one more facility in an astrometrics facility. Now, can we fit it? I don't see why we can't fit it there, right? And then it's going to have 3 outs. 1, 2, 3. And 2 ins. One is going to be a stack. One is going to be a fast. And this is the one we're not making, which is which? That's microwave, UV, infrared, visible, so X-ray we're not making. So we need data cards and we need X-ray observation frames. So this is going to be blank data cards. This is going to be X-ray observation frames. And then we're going to have, oops, scrap. And we're going to have junk data cards. And we're going to have, this is X-ray, right? Yeah. And we're going to have X-ray observation, right? So then that's going to make all our different cool kinds of that stuff, right? Okay. Now, what are we going to do with that stuff? Because that's all of these. We need to make these ones, and we need to make these, because we need these to make these. And then we need these to make these. And then we need a combination of these and these to make these. And then we need these. And these are going to take these to make these. So it gets a little weird. Because this stuff is going 14 different places. But luckily we're doing it with bots. We don't have to route all of this in with belts, because we're only doing one-offs with this. Keep in mind, we're only doing one-offs to get the system set up, get it running. Once we've got it running, we can scale this up, and when we go to scale it up, then we can worry about belts. Right now I don't care about belts. All I care about is it working? Now it looks like these are going to fill up pretty quick, so we're going to have to start setting up to get rid of our scrap here in the near future. We're still okay on bots though. I mean, we got 650. So the bots are just going to run around and do our bidding for us. So now, let us see what we need to do this in. This is done in astrometrics. This is done in astrometrics. Now these give us the same thing. They give us astrometrics data and astrometric data. The difference being we get 10 here, we get 3 here. So I think we're going to set up for this one, because now we're making all 5 of our data. The only other thing we need is the thermofluid, and we need it for either one. So we're going to set up for this one, because the 5 data gives us 10 versus the 3 data giving us 3. So we're gonna set up for this one. So astrometrics facility. And we're going to put it up here somewhere where we're going to be able to tap in and tap out for our coolant, right? And this one we're going to set up to do this. So now we got our goes into and our goes out. So the question is, where do we do it? Because we need the 100. So that's this line. So we can come up this way, and then we could go back into it here. Why don't we do that? Or hell, we could do this and save ourselves some pipe. We could do this and this, and then there's that, and then we just run this pipe up, right? So pipe here, right there, pick that one up. And then there's that, right? So that's our fluid that we need in, or fluid that we need out. Now we just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, four, 5. 2 there because of the pipe. That's okay. We'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what's that going to give us out? It's going to give us the card and the fluid, so we only need 1 out. Right? Yes. Alright, so we're going to need 1 of each and blank data cards. Right, so call this one first, blank data cards, and then we'll just go down the line with these ones. 1, 2. Wait a minute. That's visible, infrared, visible, infrared, UV, microwave, and X-ray. Right? That should give us 1 of each. And that's going to give us our multispectral data analysis doohickey out. Right? So that's going to give us that. Now, that is going to give us these. Now, we have 2 options on this one. We can either do this, which is going to give us... or wait a minute. 2 options on this one. We take 1 of each of these, and that's going to give us 1. Or we can take 1 of each of these, and that's also going to give us 1. So we are 1 and 1, right? Except we're not making these yet. Oh, because those got to be made in the grav, and those got to be made in the laser facility with the astrometrics data. But that's going to give us 1 of these. But here's the thing. We have 2 ways of making this astronomic insights. We can make astronomic insights 1, 2 at a time, or 6 at a time. And again, I think it's going to be better to make the 6 at a time. We just need more of this stuff, which we can create. We have the facilities for that. So let's go ahead and make these 2, which means we need to be making these 2 cards. Right? So this one's going to need the minus 273. This one's just going to need the card itself and the facility. So we got to tap into the 273 somewhere. So if we put that one, and that's going to be the laser facility, which we have a laser facility, luckily enough. We put this sucker up here. Yeah. We can make that with it. And then we can tap into this, and it's going to give us back minus 10, which minus 10 we're going to have to route somewhere. Alright. The minus 10 is over here to go back into the thing, huh? Oh my goodness. So if we put it down here maybe, because then I think we can tap into the minus 10. Yeah. We can tap into the minus 10 here. So let's do that. Let's put the laser facility down here. Right? And if we do that, because we can tap out of here and we can bring it back over here. Now, if we move that facility down a little bit, yeah, if we move it down by 1, we can actually do that. Right? So then we call it this. We can put a pipe there. that goes there. Now, let us... What? Cannot build... Really? Huh. Alright, where is it? We have a hole in our... We got a hole! We got a hole, guys. We're gonna have to fill the hole. Alright, so we just gotta wait for that to show up. Meanwhile, we can get started on this. We're gonna need astrometric data in, and it's gonna give us a junk card and our data out. So we're gonna need 2 gazetas. And a gazinta. And we can stop bringing those. Right? There we go. That's fixed. So that's giving us that in and that out, right? And then that's going to give us... Oops. We need to do that. Because one of these is going to be junk card, and one of them is going to be brave data. So, junk card and gravity wave data, right? Gravity wave data. And then that is going to be astrometric data. Oops. Which we're making up here, right? Yeah, we're making the astrometric data up here. And then that's going to give us those, and there it is, and now it comes out. And goes into here. Now we got... Right? Now, let us do something here real quick before we get carried away and crazy and stupid. Because otherwise we're going to get a crap ton of each of these, and then they're going to be, you know, carried away, and we're going to be using up. Not that we are yet, because things have not balanced out and filled up, but they will. And we have done that before and forgotten to do our limiting that we need to do and gotten stupid. Alright, so that's making that. What's it? Blank data cards. Blank data cards is going to be our hold up. Because we only got really one facility making them right now. We're going to have to increase that, and we're going to have to start shipping them up in abundance. But this gets us started. Alright, so that gives us that puppy. Right? And that is gravity wave data. Where were we headed with these? We were headed to this and this. We're going to need to make one of these because we need one of these and one of these. One of each of these to make this. But it gives us much more. So we're going to need gravity wave data and gravitational lens data. So gravitational lens data is in a gravimetrics facility. This was our laser facility. Where's our gravimetrics facility? There's our gravimetrics facility. Right? And to make that is just the card. So we can put that one anywhere. Let's put it back up here. Let's put it in this other slot. In this other spot, right here. Right? And that's gonna, one goes into and two goes out as. So 1, 2 goes out as, 1 goes into. Oops, did it again. We want that because the gazoutas are going to be our junk data cards, which we're going to have to start collecting up as well and reprocessing. And the other one is going to be our funky gravitational lens data. And then our input is going to be astrometrics data. Right, there we go. Limit that to 1. And now it's just got to wait for that to come in and do its thing. And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de out. So that should now be making all of these, right? So now we can start making our library data. So that's going to require minus 100, minus 100, and they're both going to give us back 25s. And they are done in a supercomputer and in a supercomputer. So there's our supercomputer. So if we do side by sides, right? And one for this one, and one for this one. But if we do it, can we do it there? Yeah, we can do it there. Right? And then the gazoutas, we can come here and here. That gives us our gazoutas, right? Now we just need all the cards. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs and an output. And 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs and an output. Well, we're not going to be able to fit them with the pipes and such without these. Oh, wait. Yes, that's fine. Because they're inputs. We'll use the red-handeds. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, because that needs 4 as well. They just need 4 different things. Alright, this one needs visible, infrared, UV. Visible. Infrared. UV. See, this is where it gets flaky because visible, infrared, UV, because 15 dozen things need those stupid cards. And then we need astronomic data. Save map. There we go. And then this one's going to need microwave and X-ray. Microwave. X-ray, and then the two dark blue ones. This one and this one. This is where bots come in handy because you don't have to worry about routing like each of these cards to 14 things. We can just have the bots do it and base it all on bots. And I'm not right now in a huge hurry for any of this data. Now, I thought we were asking for, I guess we did not tell it how many. Those. Now we're asking for them. Alright, so that's going to give us that. And then it's going to give us an output, right? So we can put an output there and an output there. And we can limit each of these to a single stack for now. Now we just need to wait for the long-handed inserters, the actual long-handed inserters. Because I don't need the sorter inserters, so I don't need to cheat the system. Except what I do need to do is to move all of these up by one. Well, so I do need to cheat the system a little bit. But I need to cheat the system on the picking up side. And on the dropping off side here. See, this is where this mod comes in really handy. I don't want to overuse it with regards to making normal inserters longer and such, but I think it's fair to be able to make these ones shorter, and I think it's fair to make long sorter inserters because we don't have any. All right, so now we just need the astronomic data, which I know we're making, right? We're only making so much of it. And the problem is blank cards. So this is going to be our holdup, is our blank cards for pretty much everything. Alright, so now we're making those. Right? We're making these. So now we have to make these, and this is where we can either make 2 or we can make 6. So we want to make 6, and we want to do that in a supercomputer, and we need -273 fluid to do it. So we're back down here next to our -273 fluid. To make this. So we need 273 in, and we need to come back around to there. There's our 273 in. And our 25 out. Right? And then we need... Oh, and that's going to give us a blank card back, which is nice. That's going to be a nice... Alright, so we need... Right, we need 3 in. No, we need 2 in. And 2 out. That's going to be nice to give us cards back. Alright, so we need 1 of each. Astronomic and broad astronomic. Astronomic. Broad astronomic. And this is going to give us 1 of these. And 1 of these. Right? And that'll give us cards back out. Now that's going to give us these. Whew. The science thing, right? And then that, we're going to need that and a supercomputer to give us this yellow card. And we're going to need the minus 100. Well, minus 100 fluid is... Is that minus 100? That is minus 100 there. And that is minus 100 there. And that is a supercomputer. So that is going to give us that. And then we're going to bring that back over to that. Right, there's our Gazada and our Gazinta for our fluids. And then we need... Oh, and this is going to give us back a card too. Oh no, it's going to give us a shitload of blank cards. Well, but it needs a shitload of astronomic insights to do it. Well, that's fun. Okay, so we need 1 input and 3 output, or 2 outputs. Alright, so 1 input and 1, 2, 3 outputs. And the input is going to be 1 of those. And the outputs are going to be, 2 outputs. The outputs are going to be our yellow card and our blank data card. Right? So when we get enough of these, we will be able to make 4 and 32. Wonder if, well, no. All right. So that gives us that. And all of that, plus a beryllium plate, finally gives us our blue science. And we need the 100 degree C fluid to do it. And that is all done in a space manufacturing plant. One of these big bastards. So, it wants to sell pretty much by itself. And we want 100 degrees C. That's minus 10. That's minus 273. This is the 100. Do we have 100 up here somewhere? We do have 100 up here. So if we put that right there, and we tell it, now see, That makes 2 science pack 1s. That makes 1 science pack 1. 2, 2, 2. 21, 1. You know what? I can live with the extra beryllium plates for the lesser. Yeah. We're gonna go with that one. That's a no-brainer. And then that's gonna go in there. That's gonna go there. That's going to go there. And this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs and 2 outputs. One, 2, 3, 4 inputs, 2 outputs. And the inputs are going to be beryllium plates, a yellow card, an astronomic catalog, and an astronomic insight. And the output is going to be, woohoo! We're back in the science business. And busted plates. Or busted cards. Well, junk cards. Right? So then we gotta gather up all of these junk cards. And the junk cards can be processed into blank cards and broken data cards. We don't have the computer for that one yet. We don't have the computer for that one yet. We don't have the computer for that one yet. The only thing that looks like we can do is this one, which is the minus 100 degree is going to give us a blank card and a broken card. And the broken card can be turned into scrap. That's all it can be turned into is scrap. But that's okay. We can at least start with the broken card and get blank cards from it. Right? Junk card is going to at least start to give us a blank data card with the minus 100 degree fluid, which we got here. And we can do that right? Blank data card in a supercomputer. But can we do that yet? Let's find out. If we put down a supercomputer, it'll tell us. We can't do blank data cards yet. Oh no, there it is. Data reformatting. We can do it. Right? And that's just going to give us... We can do that, like, right freaking here. And we can do that. And then we can do that. And that. And then that needs 2 outputs and an input. So, input, outputs. One of these outputs is a busted ass card, and one of them is a blank data card. And then this one is going to be junk cards. Right? That'll give us that output. That'll give us that input, and that'll give us the cards. And then the only thing we'll have to deal with is these junk cards. Right? And then the junk cards are just going to have to be turned into scrap. That's all we can do with them, or the busted cards. All we can do with them is turn them into scrap. So we need a recycling facility. Well, we don't have that right now. I don't think we have a recycling facility up here. Do we have a recycling facility? I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't have any up here. So we will have to bring a recycling facility up at some point. Right? They will work up here? Yeah, they'll work up here. So at some point we're going to have to make a recycling facility for these cards. For the time being, I guess we can send the cards down to the planet, and we can send the scrap down to the planet. So let's do this. Let's come over here and tell this to do that. And this one is going to be, oops, wrong chests. I hate it when I get my chests mixed up. This is going to be scrap. And this is going to be busted ass data cards, because we can turn them into scrap down on the planet. Right, and that'll go into here, because this is our return junk rocket for all our stuff. Alright guys, guess what? That means as far as I can tell, that's going to put us back into, once we get this yellow card that we need, right, the significant data, which we should be making them here. We just don't have enough astronomical insight yet. And those are being made here, which means the astronomical catalog, which is used other places as well, but we are making it. Right? We're making the catalogs. We just don't have the UV data right now, but we are making the catalogs. So all of this is cooking. It's not fast. But that'll give us, eventually, that'll start giving us science packs. And it's going to give us 2 science packs each time it runs. So then we can start looking at science again. That's awesome stuff. Alright, so there you go, guys. We are back in the science business. Now, like I said, at the end of the episode, at the beginning of the episode, I said I was going to show you what I was going to do with these signal inputs. Here's what we're doing with these signal inputs. Alright, let's get away from that stuff. We have the cables we need, we have that, we have that, we have that. Alright, so what I said is I want to set these up so that when this gets empty enough, it'll automatically send up another rocket to refill this. Well, we have to get a signal down to the planet to do that, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a decider combinator, right? And we'll just plop it down. We're gonna arrange these better. I'm just showing you for now. And we're going to hook up to it. So we're going to go from here to here. And we're going to tell this that this wants to output 1 on a certain condition. And the condition we're going to tell it for this one, for example, is copper. So we're going to say copper. If the copper is less than, oh, I don't know, for now we'll say 500, right? Because they come in stacks of 100. That would be, one row would be 1,000, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One row would be 1,000. So if we're down to less than 1,000 or less than 500 or whatever it is, we want the rocket to come. So it's going to output on whatever channel, blah, 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 right? Let's just say, I don't know that, right? Output on the green, we're going to output 1. Matter of fact, for consistency's sake, let's do copper. If the copper is less than 500, we're going to output a 1, okay? So then we're going to put this puppy down. And what this is going to do, this is a signal transmitter. We're going to hook this up to this, right? And now this is going to transmit on channel whatever. We'll call it A for now, or we'll call it copper. We'll call it channel copper, right? So it's going to take whatever signal this is outputting, and it's going to send it out on the copper channel. So now, if we were down on the planet, say, do we not have one in our hands? We don't have one in our hands. Okay. Let's go here and get one. Now, on the planet, we're going to need a receiver, right? So if we had a receiver on the planet, J, and that receiver was receiving on the copper channel, right? It's going to get whatever signal this is sending out. So then, whatever I was controlling, I could hook up from this to this, right? And I could tell this that if this is, 1, because that's the signal we're using is 1, right? I think that's what we want. So now this is enabled. If we change this, see, change to enabled. So we gotta set these right. But the point being, I will be able to turn around and take this, and this should be copper greater than 500. Sends a 1 signal, right? 1 signal comes here, 1 signal turns this off. If this is less than 500 though, if it's less than 500, send a 1 signal, it'll turn it on. So we actually want this to be the opposite of what it is, but you get the idea. As I change this, it's changing the state of this. These two are not connected other than through radio waves, right? So I can put this on novice and have a signal come out. So now I just have to figure out how to have this signal control what I want on novice. But at least now I have a signal leaving here and going down there that I can turn on and turn off. I'm assuming I can do the same thing with like a number or whatever. So we're going to hook one of these to each of these so that I'll be able to monitor my copper, my iron, my blah, 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 blah. Once I have that set, I can have one rocket set up to go to this pad. And then when a signal from say iron or say steel comes in and says we're out of steel, I can have steel filled into the rocket and launch the rocket up to this this pad. And I can have one rocket always standing by, and then when I need something, it'll pump into it. Now, what I may have to do down there is make a warehouse down there for each of these so that I ensure a full rocket. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The first thing is we need to get signals hooked up to all of these. Now, I'm only using this one, and this one right now. So realistically, that's the only 24 warehouses that we need to set up. I'm going to go ahead and try and get these all set up. Now, in these corners, I think I have an idea. We'll see. But I just need to get all of these set up and ready to go. And so I'm going to do that off camera. I'm going to get them all hooked up. But that's why I'm carrying all of those. I'm carrying those to be able to turn around and do what we need to do. So, there's what we got. We got our science going. It's going to burn through stuff, and we're going to have to worry about this data card. Well, we'll see now, because these things make a bunch of data cards in return. We'll see how that all works out, and how it all plays out at the end of the day. But we're not making them yet. Although, did we make one? No, we haven't made one yet. We're still waiting on... Did we make one and it's over there? We're just not getting that out of there? Yeah, look, we've got them. We've got science packs in the lab now. But it's not making another one because... Oh, because we're not getting rid... Good thing I looked. Look, we're not getting rid of the... Now it's getting rid of it. Look, we're in the science business, guys. We're getting science. Alright, now we're making our science. We just have to wait on the parts. But we know it goes all the way through. We know it works. So now let's do this. What do we want for science? And that's where we're going to end it. Rocket safety, rocket reusability, rocket survivability. Those are all 8s to up the percentage of that. That's 11 for zones. Search moons, asteroids, belts using telescopes. Using telescopes? Well, we already got... Well, we'll see. This allows Science Pack 2s, which is going to open all of this up. This is going to let us get our cryo ammo, which we'll see. We were saying this is going to be a big thing because this is going to allow us more efficient cooling of our fluids. But they're 500 apiece, so that's a lot. But ultimately, it will pay off. Crafting speed of 2 versus... What was the other one? Crafting speed of... Well, it tells us we can build it, but... Alright, hang on. That has a crafting speed of 1. The other one has a crafting speed of 2, so it's twice as fast. So it might be... And that just gives us... Repeated... That gives us more efficient... but this is going to give us faster. Either way, it's a lot of science. But we need to have that cooling to be able to keep up. We can't do these yet. We can't do these yet. So we're down to just these. Let's look at what our rocket safety is right now. Let's look at what our rocket safety is. And we can do that by going over here. And clicking on our rocket. So right now, cargo, we at 95% and 97%. Right? I don't care about reusability. I want safety. It reduces the chance that a cargo gets damaged in transit by 10% multiplicative. So it's not a full 10%. It's not going to jump by 10%. It's going to, it's going to jump by that times that. So if this is 97%. 0.97 times 0.1. It's going to increase it by 0.7%, give or take, 0.679%. So, is that going to be worth 8? Maybe we'll do... Excuse me. Maybe we'll do 1 or 2 of these just to up our percentage since we're going to be automating all of that. Okay, so that's 816. It's going to double each time probably. Yeah, it's going to double each time. This is... Cargo pods get damaged. I don't care about the cargo pod damage because we can repair the cargo pods. So we're shipping the cargo pods back down to Novice anyway, and we just take the broken ones, put them down, repair them, and be done. So I don't know that that's going to help us much. I don't think we have one of these yet at all. So let's take one of those just to have it. And then let us do this and then this just to get them. So that's what we're shooting for. That's going to be what's on our list. So there we go. We are back in the science game, babies. That's and look at that. There it goes. Woohoo. That is so cool to see that moving again. Yes. Right? All right. So there we go, guys. We're back in the science. I will talk to you later. Bye.